This is City Skylines 2, but I want to talk about City Skylines in general today. Is City Skylines' crown tarnished? It's time to talk about it. There's a certain moment that only City Skylines players know. It's not when the city hits 100,000 people. It's not when the traffic finally gets above 99%. I know how good that feels. It's not even when, discovering Move It, you got that road to curve just right. No, it's that quiet, still moment when the camera drifts across the city you built and for a split second, it looks real. I know you've been there too, otherwise you would have clicked off the video by now. So come with me while I explore why I played City Skylines for over 1,000 hours and why I don't play it anymore. All the way back at the beginning, City Skylines wasn't just a game about building roads and zoning. It was a playground with tools for creativity. I've talked about those previously in other videos. Plopping and plotting, they're so incredibly fun in City Skylines. And those tools, they give you the illusion, maybe I should use the word comfort, the feeling of comfort, of being in control. You can control every pipe, every road, every power line, name every district. You get to build the city you want to build. You get to shape the world the way that you want it to work. I like that about City Skylines. That's not to say that the freedom of creativity doesn't exist in other titles. It does. And for many years, these titles wore the crown of best in class. I'm not so sure that's the case anymore though. Look, I'm not here to try to explain how to play City Skylines or share strategies for success. We're so far past that with this game. There are literally hundreds of tutorials out there that do that better than I ever could. So this isn't about zoning tips or tricks or traffic flow. This is just a veteran player trying to come to terms with what I did with 1,000 hours of my life. I want to understand what hooked me so completely for all that time, why it mattered to me, and maybe I can finally understand why I stopped. Because somewhere between those first dirt roads and that sprawling, shimmering skyline, City Skylines became more than just a game. It became a reflection on how I think and how I build. At its best, City Skylines isn't about winning, it's about flow. You get into the rhythm. Build, test, fix, expand, repeat. A meditative loop that hits something deep in the brain. Oh, it feels good. If you're on my wavelength right now, I have spent, I think at one point, over 3 hours just designing a tiny little park sandwiched between a train station and a hospital, just big enough to fit about 3 benches in. Oh boy, was I zoned in making that park. You know, it's every little tweak, it feels like progress. And City Skylines has a unique way, I think, of blending small changes with large changes. When you notice that it was that intersection that used to get clogged up every single morning, and then a roundabout fixes it. Or you realise that people have been complaining there's too much noise there in the residential zone, and so you decide to redirect an entire highway. Your curiosity gets rewarded. If you have never looked, then you would never have known. At some point, it stops becoming a hunt for traffic and starts becoming a conversation about systems. because all the while, City Skylines was quietly teaching you about cause and effect. I'll swing back round to this idea, but the way that the game manifests this idea of cause and effect is through a tension between efficiency and compromise. From my understanding, there are only really two elements at play in City Skylines. One is the economy, and the other is where you physically place things on the map, so planning. You can reduce that concept down to just plop your buildings, make your money, densify these buildings to make more money. I've talked about this concept before in other videos, but it's basically simple tools combining to create complex interactions. What's remarkable to me is how simple the tools really are. Roads, zoning, services, just ploppables, and policies, of course. In their own right, they're all modular and all pretty much intuitive, but when you put them together, well, the possibilities bloom into something quite endless. And that's the genius of the city builder genre, isn't it? Something that City Skylines perfected before pretty much anybody else is how these tools interact with each other to create unique gameplay. Talking about unique gameplay, some of you may remember a game called Cities XL. There was a social element to the city building which I've never seen done anywhere else. It's pretty old now, but basically they wanted you to manage 3 different social classes, and they couldn't mix too much, but they needed to mix just enough so that they could produce enough goods to generate money in the economy. I always thought that was a really clever and unique bit of gameplay, but alas, I've never seen it done anywhere else before. When you strip it down, every good city builder runs on the same underlying ideas of feedback, action and reaction, cause and effect. And the tighter that the developer can make those tools and that loop, the more satisfying it becomes. In my opinion, that's what made City Skylines so successful compared to its competitors. Not because of their failures. If you recall, SimCities was the competitor for City Skylines. What went wrong with that? Well, in a single sentence, I'm just going to say that it didn't have the same kind of satisfying gameplay loop. Bugs can be fixed. People will put up with bugs. And I won't hear an argument against it. Otherwise, the concept of early access wouldn't exist. People are clearly willing to put up with bugs. So City Skylines is getting it right. It's getting it right in terms of visuals, the overall game scope, and in terms of complexity. Your brain just fills in the rest, that or a mod. And once you get over the hill of understanding how the mechanics work, you start thinking like a planner, like a designer. So eventually, when you start up a new map, you have a vision, not just a dream. It'll come as no surprise to people who know this channel that I'm a big fan of another city builder called Foundation. And while controversially it appears, I think that Foundation wins in terms of creativity of design. It absolutely doesn't win in terms of the kind of complexity that City Skylines can deliver. Foundation has a simplified A to B approach when it comes to its resource chains. Get the wood, sell the wood. City Skylines is more ABC. Get the wood, sell the wood, but also turn the wood into something else that can also be sold. And you can engage with that or not, it's entirely up to the player. But let's be honest with ourselves, it doesn't really matter how complex those resource chains are. Once you learn them, they fade into the background and they just become something that you have to do in order to get to your real project, which is build your city. And for what it's worth, I think that's where City Skylines 2 went wrong. Economies are complicated machines. The more complicated they are, the easier they are to break. And I applaud Paradox for attempting to add further layers of complexity to their simulation, but it just hasn't worked. Listen, I'm not picking on City Skylines. Like I said, somebody who sinks over 1,000 hours into something isn't because they don't like it. But this is kind of the problem. Somewhere along the way, probably around the 800 to 900 hours mark, I don't know. My relationship with the game changed. I stopped playing to build and started playing to perfect. I'm happy to demolish an entire district just to align a road to a particular skyline shot. I'm not precious about that kind of thing, it's just a game. And when you do, you have to unpick all of your road networks, reorganize all of your traffic lights, reposition all of your buildings, and then start going through that polish process. No need to worry about services or the economy. You know how it all works. It's all under wraps and it all functions the way that you have designed it. So you start looking at real maps for some inspiration. Different parts of the world, maybe your own part of the world, maybe your own city or town. Picking out road networks that look interesting, or even going one step further and trying to solve the problems that you know exist. Changing the road network so they're more efficient, or even adding more services in that you know are lacking in the area. And if you're the kind of player that has also hit that point, you will realise that City Skylines isn't just a city building game, it's a mirror. Let me give you an example of what I mean. You build a grid, but you look at it and it's cold and efficient. So you put a few curves in it to make it feel more human, and you realise that how else are you supposed to do it? They're not just tools, they're universal rules that govern real life too. I know that sounds like a very gamery thing to say, but what else are you supposed to do? Respect the topology and then make things make sense. That's the mirror. And the good side of the mirror is that it's clear what it is you need to do. And if you allow yourself to be empathetic to it, you're the designer, you have to make the choices. So if you want to, you can think about when you're putting that new bypass in, whether or not it's going to ruin the view or upset the residents there. Maybe you need to tear some houses down. How do they feel about that? Maybe they need some public transport and some more green spaces, but it all comes at a cost and you've got to balance that. So you'll have to make a compromise, but you can do it in a sensitive way. But there's a dark side of the mirror too, isn't there? Because the more efficient you make your city, the more sterile it becomes. You can bulldoze poverty, reroute pollution, hide the mess, and the simulation rewards you for it. Well done, it's all green across the board. Neither approach is wrong, it's just a game, don't get your knickers in a twist. But oh man, I would hate to live in a min-max's city. That's just my opinion. I don't regret a single hour. City Skylines gives you the space to think, not just about road networks, but about design in general. Flow, cause and effect, patience. I learned a lot, and I had a great time doing it, so why did I stop? The simple answer is, I just had enough. But I find that one difficult to swallow because I still think about City Skylines. Why would you stop something if you continue to think about it? I don't think that that's it. Plus, I still play city builders, and most of them aren't as good as City Skylines. I'm smiling because I can't figure it out. Hang on a minute. Maybe I never did stop playing City Skylines. Maybe I'm still working on it. Well, I'm going to have to leave you with that because that's all I've got time for. I hope you enjoyed my ramblings. Feel free to let me know in the comments what your complicated relationship with City Skylines is like. But until next time, I'll just say, if you have been, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Oh, and don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you really enjoyed my ramblings, you can even support me as a member. But until next time, this has been a little essay on City Skylines, and I have been Lord Bara.